Salam alaikum, my brothers. Do you wanna win as the Golden Emir of Afghanistan? You're in the right place. Come in, let me show you how. The first advice is don't. Uninstall the game, because this was shit and it was more painful than getting anally fucked by the Terminator. I deeply do not recommend playing as the Golden Emir Hearts of Iron, okay? If you're still here, that means you're up for a challenge. So let me try to give you the best guide as possible, so you at least will be a little bit looped up when the Terminator finally arrives. It's important to note that this is made for a historical game, that I do not claim to be some kind of genius when it comes to division templates, research focuses. This is purely from a strategic and national focuses point of view that this guide is made from.
So without any further ado, let's begin.
Start with the German and Japanese support. I have never seen them decline. After that, rush to the revolution. While doing that, don't waste command power on the Kwami. It's a fun gimmick, but I found that that side of the military tree is useless if you want to play on the big boy scale. Start by researching the 1936 rifle. Get that soft attack boost to speed up your civil war. Pick up Mohammed Tassi, chief of army, gain extra army XP. To recruit government advisor, guy that gives you political power. I've forgotten his name, sorry. The reason we watched the civil war is because Japan goes to war with China on July 7, 1937. Don't necessarily need Japan. In my experience, the sooner you get the civil war done, the better, and Japan helps with that. The civil war start, it takes a bit for the volunteers to arrive, but that doesn't mean you can't start taking land. It's a little bit random what territories you get. I found that the southern desert is optimal for launching offensive. So if you have an opportunity near Kabul in the north, you should secure it as fast as possible. Shortly after the war begins, Oscar von Niedenmeyer becomes available as a general. I would personally use him, has good stats. Focuses when the civil war starts would be expand the madrasa, reorganize the Royal Guard, reintroduce the war offense. These national focuses will provide you with divisions that you can use for the offense. Germany and Japan is not capable enough. Be wary that the terrain is garbage, especially during the winters. There's a reason why Afghanistan is called the graveyard of empires. If you're over the Cyber Pack, I recommend taking it. It's not a game-breaking feature. You need every advantage you can get as Afghanistan. When you get the elephants, don't rush to adopt the Nufus just yet. You can squeeze a few more good buffs out of the Quorum during this war before modernizing. Ignore the industrial trees from now. Instead, I recommend that you take both Muslim work ethics and Ugluk Academy. You should hopefully be done with the civil war by the time you finish Ugluk Academy. I recommend that you also remember research excavation 1 and trains. If you have the time, don't bother with radio. Get that one for free, but the other two you need for national focuses. If you have won the war and gotten yourself the extra research club, on yourself as the Golden Emir and enforce the Pashtun Valley. Don't pick anything else in this part of the tree yet. Wanna at a point where you can take support Northwest frontier rebels out going to war with the allies. In order to make this happen, allies have to be in war with the Germans, at least from my experience. After you have made the Pashtun Valley, adopt the Nufus so you can change your conscription laws. Producing mass infantry, you need the bodies for national focus, front lines, and especially against the Soviets. If using this template, oh, it sucks. I put an engineer company in it when I have the time. It's military factories to support it. I'm not planning to push with my infantry. This is purely to hold a front line. Time to focus on the industry. Push down to look to other partners. When you have done that, you have around 125 PP. Before you start it, make sure of good RNG that you can use to improve relations with all the major powers while you're researching it. They will all accept you just start the improved relations to start going through this national focus. After that, you can send a military attaché to Japan for the easy war support and the army experience. Then recommend that you build your civilian factories in Kabul. You pick the focuses that give you free civs. Go for electrification initiatives when you are able to. Should now have enough manpower to seek alternative partnership as a training. It's not urgent, you can take it later on in the war. It's a good buff. When it comes to your choice in alliances and factions, my playthrough wanted to have a Middle Eastern alliance. You can do that by taking the Unified Islamic World. So, you have to wait doing that until Albania surrenders to Italy. If you take it before, Albania will join your faction. That will force you to have a war with the Axis when Italy demands them. After electrification, start the Sabak Pact. The way you do it is that you take military cooperation and economic cooperation. And the AI will take their national focuses in the Sabak Pact and the shared ones. In my experience, you don't have to rush your specific part of the Sabak Pact after this, so you feel like you have the time and you actually would benefit for the researchers. Sometimes Romania can be invited to your faction. I strongly recommend that you don't. The German AI as it stands right now is not the strongest one in the world, and it needs the extra front line to fight the Soviets. Once you have finished constructing the Tariq, get an option to compromise with Iran. If you're in a faction together, want to attack you. I personally kicked them out at the option, because I wanted them to attack me. I wanted them to break the Sabah Pact so I can take the land and make it course. But even after kicking them out, found out that they wouldn't touch me. No matter what, it's important to kick both Iran and Iraq out of the faction for May 1941. And the Allies Allies are supposed to attack them. Definitely before June, when Germany launches Operation Barbarossa. Because when the Germans attack the Soviets, we are gonna do the same. In order to be prepared for that, you have to go back to when Germany attacks Poland. After that, you can support the northwestern frontier rebels. Then you can approach anti-Soviet theologians. It gives you a possibility to take relevant decision in bordering Soviet states to your country, will make them rebel and join your side when the Germans and when you attack them. Also recommend sending a military attaché to Germany by the time the World War starts for the war support and the experience. It's important to note you do not need the whole industry national focus tree in order to be ready for the war. Will of course help in later end when you finish it. In order to be prepared for the war, you just need enough to be able to supply your army, build support equipment so you can add entrenchments to your infantry. When Barbarossa starts, it's your cavalry and your elephants that you use for offense. Use them to encircle and capture this important supply hub. Push your infantry to lock the Soviets in place if you see a possibility to circle, or simply to hold the line. Then all the rest of your faction in to help you in this war. Need all the help you can get. We'll have a short window when the war starts. Be on the offense on your own front. It's important that you secure this supply hub. If you're not able to push the Soviets out on these tiles with railroad, then build your own. It's important that you get the supply. Don't push more than that. It's a shitty place to fight. There is a lack of supply generally. Start it will affect the Russians, but when you end up pushing in, it will also affect you. Instead, recommend that you use your offensive visions. On the Turkish front, make sure that your Turkish allies doesn't fall. They are able to push through the Caucasus. When the war starts, with the national focus dominating the mountains, this gives you mountaineers. The template that you are able to prove yourself. I use the mountaineers as my main operating defensive units. They are often quite a lot of national focuses we take. They're quite easy to produce. In order to attack the Soviets without justifying on them, it's important that you take plain new caliphate before the Germans launch Operation Barbarossa, which they do in May 1941. It's important also to note, even with support of most of the Arab world, I've still experienced that the German AI would fail to even make a dent in the Russian armor. It's you, the player faction, is able to decide if the Soviets will fall or not. So don't stop pushing. Don't expect the AI to handle everything for you. When you finally capitulate the Soviets, recommend taking the provinces that you are able to core. I will show you here on the map what coreable. If you have more war score, then take the Soviet East and focus on the provinces with resources. It would be good if you were able to give yourself an access to the Pacific. And don't fight the Turkish provinces in the peace deal. You're on the same team, gonna be with you either way. The war is not over yet. I recommend that you do not under any circumstances try to declare on China. The war is long and Japan will get capped before you can win over China. Instead, focus on pushing the British out of India. You can core provinces in India as you cap them in the war, so be aware of that. In my run, the Allies never invaded Iran. Maybe because of how hard the Soviets were hit. Either way, take out Iran yourself if the Allies invaded Iran. Secure your exposed front line. I'm not saying declare war on Iran. It's very important, because if you declare war, then you will lose the bonuses of the Sabbath Pact. If the Allies have gotten Iran in the Allies at the time that you have to fight them, focus on pushing them out of Iran first, so you have secured your home country. After India and Burma, and prepare for naval invasions. I used a trash garrison unit and cavalry to clean up everything that got through. Allies will naval invade you a lot. When you finally have dealt with India and Burma, you are able to defend against the naval invasions. It's time to focus on the Middle East and Africa. All in your faction, careful that naval invasions will hit Turkey and push them out of the war. Clean up Middle Eastern Peninsula. Don't give military access to any Axis members. You want to control the conquered land so you are able to core it for the resources in Africa. To push the Allies out of the Middle East, then out of Africa, defend the coastlines. It's important to note that in my run, Turkey went communist for the Axis. I let those red Turkish traitors rot. You should too. There's no need to fight the Axis yet. The Turkish were not that much helpful. Important thing is that you have to cap the UK and the US. When we have pushed the Allies out of Africa, you should have enough resources in cores to be able to mass produce planes. When you have big enough air force, I recommend using paratroopers on the UK. You can ask Germany for military access and go through France. After that, I never used paratroopers again, but I'm sure you can find a use for them. The US is always a pain. If Peru or Venezuela goes fastest, you can declare war on the neighbors. They will sometimes ask to join your faction, and you can use their countries as staging grounds for for the invasion of South America. If not, you can try to declare war on Peru or Venezuela. And when you're justifying on them, there's also a chance that they will try to seek to join your faction. When you finally have landed in South America, from there it's a slow, painfully lane war where you have to declare war on every country between you and the US and go through them in order to reach borders of the Americans. But on the bright side, when you finally reach the border, it should be easy pickings from here on out. After you capitulate the allies, I suggest that you grab the relevant states that you're able to make call. Now it's only the Axis and the Chinese left. Took out the Axis first. Given the course I had in Russia, we had a very big front line where it was possible to make easy encirclements, utilize that it's late game and you're able to build a lot of airfields and supply hubs with the massive industry that you should have acquired now with all the cores you have gained. From there on out, it should be simply a push of a button and an attack point. If Turkey was also taken out in your game, recommend curing that part first, liberating the Turkish red communist bastards, so the main core states of your land has a secured buffer between them and the Axis. Personally, I waited to cap the Axis completely before I had defeated the Chinese, and that the Chinese and the Axis had been in war since Japan invaded. I would not share the war score with the Chinese when I finally capped. I moved my focus to China. Again, with the massive industry, it was easy to build supply hubs in the Russian Far East, to invade the Chinese mainland from the north, and to go through Burma that had been a core state for some time now. Chinese did not pose a threat. I have no concrete advice other than build up the supply before you go in. You should have enough men to stop them. Then cap the Axis, and then you should have won the game. You can, of course, if you want a complete world domination, pick every faction member that is left and eliminate them one after one. But I found that this one was satisfying enough for me. Wish you the best of luck with your game. Would here at the end like to share my thoughts upon the current state of Afghanistan and the Golden Emir path. If you were purely here for advice, then thank you for listening this long. I really hope it helped. Let me know if there's anything else that I should describe more in the comments. Like I said, my thoughts are that I'm glad they have added the extra focuses to Afghanistan. But to be honest, I didn't find it that much enjoyable this playthrough, especially if you're going historical, because you know that your potential allies, if you choose to unite the Muslim world, will drag you into a war. It doesn't always make sense that the opposing faction guys are choosing to attack you. Like, I don't quite get why Italy would still choose to attack Albania with the rest of the Muslim world standing behind Albania. Then the world war would still kickstart and the Axis would just batter. At the same time, I do not get why the allies will always invade Iraq and Iran. I think this all boils down to that it really limits the possibilities that you have if you choose to go with the Arabic faction route. At the same time, you also feel limited that you cannot just to war with your Arab allies, because then you will lose the Sabah Pact. The Sabah Pact, again, it's not game breaking. You are a very small country as Afghanistan, and of course you can buff your military in the end, but need all the buffs you can get. The Sabah Pact just offers good enough buffs for it to be considered important to keep. Pros of playing Afghanistan is that when you finally have your industry up strong, you are able to buff the stats of your army to a good chunk. It's easy defendable, you will not run out of main power right away. When you have finished your focuses of Afghanistan, you also sit on a good chunk of materials that you can use for your basic army. The possibility to form an Arabic alliance is also very nice. I feel like in most cases they will say yes. I strongly suggest that if you want to play as the Golden Emir, you should embrace the chaos and take the non-historical games. From now I would say don't play as the Golden Emir, but at the mercy of the German AI. That's simply not the best right now. One thing is to get a successful invasion of the UK, another is the painful waiting time you have when you have to get to the US. If I could get one thing changed, it is to lower the time to complete some of the industry national focuses. It is already taking a long time to just finish up the civil war in Afghanistan. In order to actually be ready to join World War and just have your own front, regardless of the Axis and the Allies or the Soviets, whoever you're fighting, you have to have somewhat of an industry in your main country. Right now, just takes a lot of time to get that up. Thank you for listening. Let me know how your Afghanistan game went. But that's it for this time. Thank you if you have watched it all. I really hope this could help somebody. Good luck and have fun.